Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're taking a look at two handy little craft projects that you can do with your forest school, scout or bushcraft youngsters. And that is we're going to have a look at making some things that spin. Like this spinner or even a spinning top. So we're going to take a look at everything you need to know to make them, how I would adjust it for different age groups, some of the tools and equipment I'm going to use. If you're interested in learning more, then keep watching. Making things that spin in forest school is a great little activity, particularly for those children that need something to fidget with or have trouble concentrating. And they can be really simple as a spinning top, which is relatively simple, it's just two pieces, through to a full-on spinner. We're going to take a look at making both of those. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of wood. So we want a nice round piece of wood. Try and get something that was recently green. So you want something about a couple of inches diameter. This is about as small as I'd go for the spinner. For the spinning top you can go a little bit smaller, but this is probably the minimum size that I'd look at. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut slices off the piece of wood that I have. Now if you have a sawhorse on your site, which you should do, I have a whole video on how to make one if you don't, then ideally you want this sitting in a sawhorse. It's really a better way to saw things for children and adults of all ages. And then you can either use a longer bow saw with two children, kind of the standard forest school way, or if they're older and more competent, then you can use a folding saw. So I'm going to use a folding saw and the step on it method. So that keeps my other hand well away from the saw. And I can quickly make my way through. 5mm is probably a good thickness for our spinning top. And then we're going to need another piece slightly thicker for our spinner. Once we've got our discs that we need, you can probably see I could have done with finding slightly rounder wood for this, but we'll make do. So the idea is we're going to put some holes in these. So it's going to be one in the center of the spinning top, and then we'll do two that are just a little bit to the side of center for the spinner. When I'm drilling discs, particularly when I'm working with children, I like to have one of these clamps set up. Really simple, just a board with two battens screwed onto it, and then we can slide our wooden disc into there like that, and it'll hold it securely, and we don't need to have our hands anywhere near the drill bit. And then bit and brace is quite nice, so you can work it at two-man, so you can have one person holding at the top, and then we can have the other, usually the child, turning it. Now obviously if you have older children, then you can get them to use it on their own, use palm drills, so on. This is just the easiest way to work with younger children. Okay, that's all the way through. So then we're going to do two holes for the spinner. So halfway between the center and the outside. Go. Unscrew that. Back in. There we go. So we've got our spinning top and spinner holes all drilled. Once you have drilled your holes, this is probably a good opportunity to add some color and add your designs to it. So you can either burn some on with a pyrography tool, use some natural paints, or just good old felt tips. Just give them a bit of color. But yeah, design and everything, it's up to you. You can leave it up to the children. Then for the spinning top, we want to find a nice straight branch, ideally dead. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to, it's going to be a little bit thicker than the diameter of our hole. And then we're just going to gently put a point on the end. Want quite a stubby point. Then we're going to take the bark off and we're just going to continue shaving it down until it's a size that will fit in the spinning top. Now, depending on your age group, you might want to get them to do this, or it's quite simple to get them to find the stick and then you just add it in. So there we go. So we just fit our stick into the middle there. And then we can saw the top off. In my case, I'm just going to snap it. Okay, and there we have a spinning top. Now, to make it spin really well, as you can see, it's not exactly equal all the way around. We may well need to shave some bits off the edges around. So it depends on the age group. It'll still spin decently well, even if it's slightly off balance. But the rounder it is, the better it'll spin. So there you go. Really simple, nice little spinning top. For the spinner, now we're going to need some string. You can use jute twine. You can use paracord. The more man-made it is, the more spring it'll have and the easier it'll be to use. I find the good halfway house is this cotton thread, cotton string, which you can find in balls and rolls in garden centres, so on. What we're looking for is 2 strands about fingertip to shoulder length. So here we've got our cotton string. The other thing you could do with is some beads. Now you could probably make some elder beads for this. I bought a whole lot of wooden beads online. I find they are handy enough. We're going to take 2 strands together and we're going to pop them through one of our holes on one side of the spinner. This is where you find out which children have the dexterity needed and which children don't. And I clearly don't have a lot of the dexterity because I find this kind of thing quite difficult. Go get through. I'll give it a bit of persuasion with a drill bit or auger or a stick or something. Just help it get in there. Okay, so we've got one end through, and then before we pop the other end through, we're just going to thread one of our beads on to both lines. And then same way the other one went. So what you should have, if you've done it correctly, not incorrectly like some eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed, you'll end up with a loop on one side with a bead that stops it from falling all the way through, and then your threads on the other side. So with those 4 threads on one side, we will get our other bead, slide it onto 2 of them, bring the whole lot together, and then we can tie a basic figure 8 knot in the end. Then we should have 2 lines going through each hole and then a bead at the other end, and then we can use that to set it all up. And that is pretty much our spinner done and spinning top done. Now to use a spinner, what you got to do is you got to hold it by those beads trapped in between your fingertips, and you go hold it in a shallow V in front of you, and you go wind it away from you, so you just go spin it away from you until it starts to kink up like that. And then what we can do is we can then pull outwards, and then as we get to the end we can let it pull our hands inwards. And this is hours of fun. When Jilly taught me how to do this, it was just something that I played with for hours on end trying to get it right. So yeah, definitely something good for the more fidgety children. So there you have it, 2 great little spinning toys, really simple and easy to make. You can make this as complicated as you like. They're both can be accomplished by multiple ages. You may well need to assist with some of them, so you may want to carve the spindle for the center of our spinning top yourself and insert it in, or you can get the children to do it for you. There are a number of ways to differentiate this, and it's a great one for all ages. So I hope this has inspired you to go beyond just the pointy sticks and have a look at some fun woodland projects. If you enjoyed this video and are looking for more activity ideas for your forest school sessions, then I have a free PDF of my top forest school activities. I will leave a link to that in the description below. Do check that out. It's completely free. Just follow the link below, and there's all of the ideas right away from cooking through to crafting and rope work. Really handy activities that will help you take skills and learning further. With that, thank you so very much for watching, and thank you to Wellness Woodlands for making this video possible. As you hear, we've got the steam train going in the background, and that is a good time for me to wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. Make the most of every day, and I'll see you in the next video.